Hi, I'm Dave Scott. Got a question on IT band rolling. First off, don't do it. Don't roll your IT band. I don't know how many gyms I've traveled to around the world in the last 35, 40 years, and I see people laying on that IT band, rolling it from side to side, grimacing on every movement, going up and down that lateral side of their leg all the way down to their knee joint, thinking that they're going to release some of that tension in that IT band. That IT band doesn't have a lot of elasticity to it. You can stretch it a little bit and it can be stretched, but when you compress it, it just irritates it. Particularly as you're going over the lateral side of your knee. So we look at the IT band, and I've got my jeans on because I tell people stretch at night. Stretch while you're at home. You put on something maybe more comfortable than your jeans. But I'm here at my office, and this works pretty well. So when your IT band, look at this little bony prominence up here, the iliac crest, comes all the way up here, all the way down the lateral side, fans out, kind of delineates between your lateral quad, and connects all the way down to your tibia. So it crosses both joints, the hip joint and the knee joint, and it helps stabilize that knee. And a lot of times when people have issues with an IT band, it's because the lateral quad is overworked and the glutes are weak. So you've got to address a few things first in combination with rolling, which I'll show you in just a second. First off, you can just stretch your back. I'm not going to show you that today, but I'm going to show you also how to roll a couple of key areas that will really help work some of that fascia and that connective tissue and soften a little bit, so it'll enable that IT band to move a little more freely. Strengthen your glute muscles, make sure you're stretching your back, and combine these rolling exercises. So I'm going to show you down the floor. I got my mini roller down here. And you want to start rolling your quads. You want to go all the way up to your crease line, all the way up to your hip flexors as best you can. You can kind of cross that hip joint line and work your TFL as well, and go all the way down to your knee joint line, but don't roll laterally. So I just start off, and I start right at the knee joint here, and as I'm doing this, I can roll up and down. I'm flexing my left knee to allow myself to get all the way up in that hip joint line, and I can linger right here because it's pretty darn tight, and I can also load it just a little bit more by stacking my legs, so I can come off the ground and now roll it all the way up and down. But don't get over here on this lateral side. So I want to spend anywhere between about 45 seconds to 2 minutes rolling my quads. The second one is roll your shins. A lot of people forget about rolling your shins, and particularly the soft part, the tibialis anterior, and you can take a tennis ball. I'm going to show you this in a later video, but I'm going to show you how to get on this little soft spot. Don't go right down the tibia bone, so I'm offsetting it. I'm starting at my knee joint or just below it, and I'm rolling all the way down to my ankle joint, and I can roll back and forth, and I can also stack my legs so I can get a little more load, taking that full range. So stay on that soft part. You can roll your calves and also your glutes as well. So on the calves, make sure you start at that ankle joint line, come all the way to the back of your knee. And again, same thing. You can go single if you're sensitive, and you can roll it here, or you can stack it and add a little more weight. You can twist it a little bit from side to side because we've got a plexus of muscles in there, not just your gastroc and your soleus, but your peroneals as well. And I get a really good, ooh, that's kind of sore right there, yikes. So that's why I want to kind of hang a little bit higher in that spot. And then lastly, you want to try to roll your glutes. So start high around your belt line on your glute medius, so you can get on your piriforms and all the internal external rotators of your glutes. So I just sit on this thing, I kind of offset it, and there's real no right or wrong. So I can kind of turn this thing at 90 degrees, and I can just kind of rotate. And again, if I start high on my belt line, as I suggested, down closer to that glute median, and I can stack my legs or cross them over, and I can load that just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back and forth. I can kind of internally rotate that knee and externally rotate it to get that load in my glute as well. So again, addressing that IT band, stay away from rolling it. Hit those other soft spots that you have. They're going to be pretty tender. And this rolling, everyone uses rolling to some degree. I think it's very, very effective, particularly at the end of the day. You'll find that you'll be able to rebound and be ready to run or ride the next day. So incorporate that in your program. Take away that IT band rolling.